Ray Orr, who once led Hong Kong's Muay Thai team in international competition, is trained in the School of Hard Knocks. But not since running his own Muay Thai and fitness gym for the past 10 years has business been hit so hard. Fitness centres like Orr's were closed for nearly 7 out of the past 12 months in a bid to stop the spread of the coronavirus.
絕對係對我哋行業非常之唔公平。喺我哋呢個俾人停止，俾政府強制停業咗幾次啦。咁其實咧係可以咁講，冇一次咧係關我哋事，個疫情控制唔到啦。跟住就喺我哋呢個行業係基本上係冇乜感染嘅個案情況之下咧，就無端白事停咗我哋。
Orr, who's also the convener of the Fitness and Combat Sports Alliance, representing more than 200 gym operators, estimates that more than a third of gyms in the territory are permanently down for the count, despite an earlier government subsidy to save jobs. During the tough times, Orr stayed afloat by increasing promotions for private and group classes, slashing prices in a bid to get more customers by word of mouth. It has worked, and business has gradually improved these past 2 months since the government relaxed restrictions at gyms again.
一個我個人嘅諗法就係，其實香港政府要幫到我哋咧，令到我哋個業務服，即係我哋呢個行業可以做得好啲。最簡單一樣嘢就係唔好搞我哋，係真係嘅，因為其實我哋一路以嚟香港咧喺運動行業，我哋呢啲屬於健身啊，或者係一啲健身搏擊運動行業咧，都係越做越好，市民越嚟越接受我哋。
Businesses have suffered a great blow because of COVID-19 this past 12 months. According to one recent survey by CPA Australia, confidence is at its lowest level 2 years running among all Asian Pacific cities surveyed, and that only 21% of small businesses expect to expand this year. More than $1.2 billion of relief measures have been dished out by the government in its latest budget for small and medium-sized enterprises, including extra funds for companies to diversify their markets. Hong Kong Small and Medium Enterprises Association President Pamela Mark says measures like the government's full guarantee loan scheme would be a much-needed shot in the arm for struggling businesses during the tough patch. Mark runs a wholesale and retail wine business and opened her outlet in Yuen Long, a township next to the Chinese border, because more than half of her customers were from the mainland. These visitors have since dried up, as the city has yet to reopen its borders to Chinese tourists.
That's why we face the turnover going down, okay, more than at least 60%, okay, because the amount they buy is a lot higher. They buy more premium wine, but for local people, they are more buying the average price. Okay, and for the local, because of the pandemic, they stay home, and some of the restaurants around us, they are, because of the social distancing, they are locked down. Okay, and then we drop our business to 80%. Okay.
Instead, she's uncorked a whole crate of new customers by engaging social media and apps like Vivino and Wine Searcher. It's even brought her shop to the attention of English-speaking locals in the city. But driving the business through digital channels only gets you so far, when many small businesses here are in the catering trade or rely on overseas visitors or do import-export business. Most are pining their hopes on the vaccination program to return the city to normality and to get spending flowing again. Roland Lim, CNA, Hong Kong.
That's it for business. Back to you, Otelli.
Thanks, Eugenia. We return now to one of our top stories. The World Health Assembly, which is calling for urgency to end the current COVID-19 pandemic and preventing the next one. Health ministers from 194 member states are attending virtually the annual meeting. At the opening of the event, United Nations Chief Antonio Guterres says the international community needs to adopt a war footing to stop the COVID-19 pandemic.
The world must respond resolutely and in solidarity to stop the virus. World leaders must urgently step up with a global plan for equitable access to COVID-19 vaccines, tests and treatments. This starts with funding the ACT Accelerator and its COVAX facility to deploy life-saving tools to the poorest countries on a global scale. But that is not enough. We are at war with the virus. We need the logic and urgency of a war economy to boost the capacity of our weapons, the vaccines.
In his opening address, Director General of the World Health Organization calls on every country to vaccinate 10% of their population by September. He also paid tribute to all healthcare workers for their tireless efforts.
In this international year of the health and care worker, we have all been reminded that these are incredible people doing incredible jobs under incredible circumstances. We owe them so much, and yet globally, health and care workers often lack the protection, the equipment, the training, the decent pay, the safe working conditions, and the respect.
11 firms in Singapore were fined for not ensuring work from home was a default arrangement for the employees. They're among more than 530 workplaces inspected between May 8th and May 21st. Authorities say there will be more inspections. And action will be taken against employers if workers who can work from home are found to be working on site. That's even if the total number of workers on site are at or below the declared number of workers. First-time offenders will be fined $1,000 and up to $2,000 for repeat offenders. Employers must also declare their on-site manpower details by this Friday. The update can be done through the government resource platform Go Business Singapore. Autonomous universities in Singapore will be able to take in more students this coming academic year. This is to support those whose plans to study abroad have been disrupted by the COVID-19 pandemic. Education Minister Chan Chun Sing says that more flexibility will be given to the universities to admit more students. He says the institutions will continue to maintain admission standards and a high quality of education. Sport now, and history made in the golf world as 50-year-old Phil Mickelson becomes the oldest man to win a major title. Playing to thousands of spectators at the Kiawa Island Golf Resort, the American captured the PGA Championship by just 2 strokes. It's also his 6th career major. Lefty also eclipsing Julius Barosa's 1968 major conquest at the age of 48. And how's this for a stat? He is the 4th golfer in PGA Tour history to win in 4 different decades.
I mean, this is just an incredible feeling because I just believed that it was possible, but yet everything was saying it wasn't. And I hope that others find that inspiration. It might take a little extra work, a little bit harder effort to maintain physically or maintain the skills, but gosh, is it worth it in the end? And I'm so appreciative to be holding this Wanamaker Trophy.
Very inspiring win indeed. Well, Asia will continue in the next hour. We will check the top stories, including a defiant message from Aung San Suu Kyi in her first comments since the coup. Plus, India becomes the 3rd country after the US and Brazil to cross more than 300,000 coronavirus deaths.
Look forward to brighter skies. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.